Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, our mission, well, it's about implementing some pretty sophisticated strategies, not for tech or geopolitics this time, but for maximizing profit.
That's right.
We're diving deep into the economic gymnastics, how businesses actually manage to charge different people very different prices for basically the same thing.
It really is an art. Revenue management, they call it. And it all hinges on, well, the core goal for any business that has some market power, getting the most value possible from every single customer.
Okay, let's start with maybe the clearest example, right? Student discounts. Like you get cheaper Spotify, maybe a gym membership, movie tickets. Why do businesses just, leave money on the table because someone shows a student ID? Seems counterintuitive.
That is the perfect place to start this dive. What you're seeing there is a classic example of something called price discrimination.
Price discrimination. Okay.
Yeah, selling the same thing at different prices, where the price difference isn't really because the cost to provide it is different.
Right.
The ultimate goal is to try and charge each customer the absolute highest price they'd be willing to pay. We call that top price the reservation price.
Reservation price. So like my personal maximum.
Exactly. It's basically your marginal benefit from getting that product or service.
So the student discount is really a filter then to catch people who have a lower reservation price, who might just walk away otherwise.
Precisely. And if businesses could pull this off perfectly, which, they can't, but theoretically, we'd have what's called perfect price discrimination. That's the ideal scenario where a company could charge every single person exactly their unique reservation price.
Wow. Okay. If that impossible thing suddenly happened, what would the big wins be for the business? There must be huge advantages.
Oh, massive. And sort of two main layers to it. First, for all the sales you were already making,
Yeah.
and you now charge the absolute highest price possible, maximize the profit margin on every single one. You basically hoover up all that extra value,
Yeah.
the consumer surplus that the buyer thought they were getting.
Wait, can we just pause on that? Consumer surplus?
Yeah.
That's the gap between what I was willing to pay, my reservation price, and what I actually paid. That kind of good deal feeling.
Exactly that. You drain that feeling, financially speaking.
Yes.
So that's the first benefit. The second one is maybe even more important.
Okay.
You actually increase the total number of sales. You
Yeah.
make every single sale possible where the customers benefit, their reservation price is higher than your cost to make the product. The market expands.
Right. More people get the thing. But here's where it feels a bit, tricky or maybe unfair. If some people are now paying way more, does this whole price discrimination thing actually help the economy overall? Or does it hurt it? Does it increase efficiency or...
That's the critical question, absolutely. And you have to look at the two parts of the strategy separately.
Okay.
Part one, charging those higher prices to your existing customers, the ones who really value it, that's just shifting money around.
Redistribution.
Yeah.
Exactly. Reduces the buyer's consumer surplus, transfers that value straight to the seller. Total economic pie. Doesn't get bigger. No gain in overall surplus there.
Okay, so that part isn't about efficiency.
But part two.
Yeah.
Offering those selective discounts to people who wouldn't have bought it otherwise.
The students, maybe?
Could be students, could be others. That's where the magic happens, economically speaking. By bringing in new customers, you increase the total quantity sold. And that increases the total economic surplus. Both the business and those new customers are better off.
Huh. So it's kind of weird. Maximizing the company's profit also fixes this problem economists talk about, right? Where companies with market power tend to sell too little.
Precisely. It helps solve that underproduction problem.
Why? Why does giving a selective discount fix that?
Because it gets around something we call the discount effect. See, normally, if a seller wants to attract one new customer who needs a lower price,
Yeah.
they usually have to lower the price for everyone. All their existing high-value customers get the discount too. Oh, right. And that costs them a lot of revenue.
A lot. Often more than they gain from that one extra sale. So they just don't make the sale. They keep the price high, and we get underproduction. But with price discrimination, you only give the deal to the person who needs it. You avoid cutting prices for everyone else. That makes the extra sale profitable.
Okay, that clicks. It's not just profit grabbing. It actually makes the market work a bit better. So if this is so great, why isn't everything price discriminated? Why don't we see this everywhere? What stops companies?
Good question. There are three conditions, really non-negotiable ones. If any of these aren't met, the strategy basically falls apart.
Okay, what are they?
First, the business needs market power.
Meaning they're not in perfect competition.
Right.
Yeah.
If you try to charge a high price and your competitor next door sells the exact same thing for less, customers will just walk. You need some control over your price. Monopoly, oligopoly, even just strong branding helps.
Okay, market power. Condition 1.
Second, you must be able to prevent resale. This is crucial.
Why is that?
Well, think about it. If the students who get the cheap movie tickets could just turn around and sell them to non-students for a profit.
Then everyone would just buy from the student.
Exactly. Your whole high-price market disappears. Everyone ends up paying the low price, maybe through some intermediary. So you need a way to stop that arbitrage. Think non-transferable tickets, ID checks, things like that.
Gotcha. Prevent resale. Number 2. What's 3?
Third, and this is often the trickiest one, targeting. You need a way to figure out who's who can handle the high price, and who actually needs the discount to buy at all. Or even better, get customers to reveal that information themselves.
Okay, targeting. That brings up, well, kind of a controversial example maybe, the pink tax.
Yeah.
You know, where products that are basically identical, like razors or shampoos, sometimes cost more if they're marketed to women versus men. If we look at that through this targeting lens, what's the company really thinking about willingness to pay?
They're making a bet, essentially, on differing price elasticity of demand between men and women for those specific products.
Elasticity, meaning how sensitive people are to price changes.
Exactly. It's not necessarily that they think women inherently value pink razors more, but that the group of consumers buying women-marketed products is, on average, less responsive to price increases. Their demand is less elastic.
So they think they can raise the price on the pink version, and women will mostly just pay it, while maybe men wouldn't for the blue version.
That's the underlying assumption they're acting on. The pink packaging may be a different scent. That's the targeting mechanism. And they're also relying on the other conditions, assuming enough market power. And that resale or substitution, like women just buying the men's version, won't happen on a large scale.
Wow, so it's really about exploiting perceived differences in group behavior, not just the cost of pink dye.
Pretty much. It's segmentation based on those behavioral assumptions.
Okay, so since targeting individuals perfectly is super hard,
Impractical, usually, yes.
it makes sense that businesses often go for targeting groups they can identify. Tell us about group pricing.
Group pricing is exactly that. You charge different prices to different, clearly identifiable groups. Think seniors, kids, locals versus tourists, students.
Right, things you can usually check easily.
Exactly. You segment your market based on these characteristics, and then basically you treat each group like its own separate little market with its own demand curve. You figure out the best price for students, the best price for seniors, the best price for everyone else.
And how do they decide on the prices for each group? Are there rules?
There are definitely rules of thumb. Good ones, too. Rule 1. Charge higher prices to the groups that value the product more intensely, the ones with the higher marginal benefit overall.
Okay, higher value, higher price. Makes sense.
Rule 2. Charge lower prices to groups that are really price sensitive, the ones where your market power is weaker, maybe they have more alternatives, or just less ability to pay. You need that discount to bring them in.
So how does a company pick which groups to target? Like, what makes a good segmentation variable? Couldn't everyone just try to pretend they're in the discount group?
They could try. That's why there are criteria for picking good segmentation characteristics. 3 main ones. First, demand must differ between the groups.
Right. If students and non-students valued it exactly the same, no point in a student discount?
Precisely. Second, the characteristic must be verifiable. You need proof. Student ID, driver's license for age or residency, employee badge, something concrete. That's why income is almost never used directly. It's hard to verify reliably. People might, fudge the numbers.
Yeah, I can see that. Okay, verifiable. What's the third?
Third, it should ideally be difficult to change. You don't want people easily switching groups just to get the lower price.
Ah, that explains theme park discounts for locals, like Disney giving Florida residents cheaper tickets.
Perfect example.
They can verify your Florida ID easily, and, well, you're probably not going to move house just to save $100 on a park ticket. It's difficult to change.
Exactly. That's effective group pricing using geography. Verifiable and difficult to change.
Okay, but what if you can't easily verify someone's group? Like, you suspect some customers have low reservation prices, but they don't have an ID card that says, I'm price sensitive. How do you get them the discount without giving it to everyone?
Now we get to a really clever technique. The hurdle method.
Their hurdle method. Sounds intriguing.
It is. The idea is you offer the lower price, but only to people who are willing to overcome some kind of obstacle or inconvenience, a hurdle.
A hurdle? Like what?
It's designed so that customers who do have high reservation prices, who really value convenience or their time, will look at the hurdle and say, nah, not worth it, I'll just pay the higher price.
Yeah.
They self-select out of the discount.
So the hurdle filters people based on how much they hate hassle.
Essentially, yes. Or how much they value getting it now versus later, or how much effort they're willing to put in.
Okay, give me some examples. What kind of hurdles do businesses set up?
Well, we see a few main types. First one is based on alternative versions and timing. Think about a big anticipated book release. Hardcover comes out first, right? Costs maybe $35.
Yeah, the diehard fans grab it day one.
Exactly. Then, maybe 6 months or a year later, the paperback comes out for $17. Now, the paper and binding don't explain that huge price difference.
So the hurdle is just waiting.
Waiting. The biggest fans, the ones with the highest reservation price, pay the premium for immediate access. People who are interested but less desperate or more price sensitive, they jump the hurdle of waiting and get the cheaper paperback later.
And movie theaters doing cheap Tuesdays or cheaper matinee showings, same idea.
True, exact principle. The hurdle is the inconvenient time. Most people prefer Friday nights, you pay more then.
Yeah.
Willing to go on a Tuesday afternoon, you get the discount for overcoming that timing hurdle.
Clever. Okay, what's another type of hurdle?
Second type involves shopping around or effort. Think about grocery store sales.
Like Coke is on sale this week, Pepsi next week.
Exactly. The hurdle there is paying attention to the weekly ads, maybe switching brands based on price, maybe visiting multiple stores. People who are very price sensitive will do that work.
While people like me, who just want their usual brand now, pay full price.
Right. Your brand loyalty or just your unwillingness to spend the effort means you don't jump their hurdle. Haggling for a car is another classic example.
Oh yeah, the dreaded haggle.
The hurdle is the time, the stress, the awkwardness of negotiating. Some people hate it so much they'd rather pay a bit more just to avoid it. Others are willing to put in the effort to get a lower price. The dealership is basically letting you choose based on how much you value avoiding that hassle.
So the negotiation itself is the hurdle. Wow. Okay, what's the third type?
Third category is extra hassle, subpar service, or maybe reduced quality.
Like coupons.
Coupons and mail-in rebates are the absolute classic example here. The hurdle is the sheer hassle clipping, remembering, filling out forms, mailing things in. Only the most budget-conscious customers, the ones really motivated by the discount, will bother.
So every time I use a coupon, I'm basically signaling my time isn't worth more than this dollar.
You are effectively self-identifying as someone willing to jump that hassle hurdle for the savings. And the same logic extends to service quality.
How so?
Sometimes paying less means you accept slower shipping. Or maybe you get basic economy on a flight. No seat selection, board last.
Right, less legroom.
Exactly. The slightly worse experience is the hurdle. You accept the inconvenience to get the lower fare. Sometimes it's even about slightly imperfect goods, like outlet stores selling items with minor flaws.
Ah, okay. That all makes a lot of sense. It's about making the discount slightly painful, so only the really motivated take it.
Precisely.
Okay, final area. How does this apply when we buy more than one of something? Let's talk quantity discounts and bundling.
Right. A quantity discount is pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
The price per unit goes down if you buy more. Think buy one, get one 50% off, or bulk pricing at Costco.
So the hurdle is committing to buying more than you might have otherwise.
Often, yes. It targets people who need larger quantities anyway, like big families, who tend to be more price sensitive. Or it just encourages everyone to buy a bit more than they planned by making that second or third item seem cheaper.
And bundling, that's selling different things together, right?
Yes, selling distinct goods together as a package, usually for less than the sum of their individual prices. Think software suites, or cable TV packages, or fast food combo meals.
So the hurdle in bundling is you have to take the whole package, even if you don't want every single piece equally.
Exactly. You might really want the game console, but to get the deal, you also have to take the bundled game you're less excited about.
Like that video game console bundle with an extra controller and a game I might not have picked myself.
Perfect example. The business hopes the total value of the bundle is attractive enough to pull in buyers who might have balked at the price of just the console or just the game. It helps them sell more overall and capture different types of customers who value the components differently.
This is, wow, it really pulls back the curtain on pricing. It's not random at all, is it? It's all these very deliberate tools.
Not random at all. Highly intentional. So just to summarize for you, the core strategy we've been exploring is price discrimination.
All right.
And it's all driven by trying to figure out or get you to reveal your reservation price.
Your maximum willingness to pay.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And businesses do this mainly through two broad methods. Group pricing, where they segment the market using verifiable things like age or location.
Like student or senior discounts?
Yep. Or they use the hurdle method, where they set up obstacles, weighting, effort, hassle, bundling, that make buyers sort themselves into high-price and low-price groups based on their willingness to jump the hurdle.
Got it.
And the end goal for the business is, well, more profit, partly by capturing more of that consumer surplus, and partly, importantly, by making those extra sales to marginal buyers, which actually helps overall market efficiency by reducing underproduction.
That really clarifies it. It's fascinating how these everyday prices are constantly trying to gauge exactly how much we value something. So here's a challenge for you, the listener. The next time you buy something, could be a movie ticket, could be a book, maybe signing up for a subscription, just pause for a second. Ask yourself, what hurdle, if any, did this business put in front of me? How did they try to figure out my reservation price? Did I jump the hurdle for the discount? Or did I pay the premium to avoid the hassle? It's everywhere once you start looking. Thanks for diving deep with us.